Thank you. For years, gun manufacturers have operated with little to no oversight and have been shielded from accountability by NRA-backed members of Congress and a conservative Supreme Court. Their irresponsible advertising and sales practices have flooded communities like mine with weapons of war, resulting in loss of life and generational trauma. This history mirrors the unchecked greed of pharmaceutical companies who are only now facing the consequences of the harm caused by their own irresponsible advertising and the role they've played in the opioid crisis. It is far past time for gun manufacturers to face some accountability. So, in an effort to maximize the use of my time, Mr. Daniels, I'll be asking you a series of yes or no questions. So, Mr. Daniel, are you familiar with the ongoing opioid crisis and the role that irresponsible advertising played in getting millions of Americans, including many Ohioans, addicted to drugs?
I'm somewhat familiar with an opioid issue, a problem, but I'm not real familiar with the advertising. What is the advertising?
I would encourage you to then look into the well-documented reports about these advertising practices and familiarize yourself with the guilty plea of Purdue Pharma, which has been filed and resulted in billions of dollars of fines that they have been directed to pay as a result of their dangerous advertising. You will see an ad. Mr. Daniel, I have a photo of some promotional items Purdue Pharma once distributed to promote the purchase and consumption of OxyContin displayed. As an American, do you have any concerns with the marketing of OxyContin in a way that could have been viewed as trivializing the addiction and deaths that occur from it? Yes or no, please.
I'm not familiar with this advertising, and I'm not sure what they're trying to do here.
Well, let me help you. These irresponsible advertisements are not exclusive to the pharmaceutical industry. Your companies have also continued to make irresponsible advertisements for these dangerous weapons. Mr. Daniel, do you understand that firearms your company produces, markets, and sells are deadly and dangerous weapons? Yes or no?
Congresswoman, we make the best firearms for self-defense.
Yes or no?
They have to be dangerous to be good for
yes or no? Let me help you. To be clear, the U.S. law does consider a firearm to be a deadly weapon. So let me ask you another question. Do you believe it is appropriate to market guns in such a manner, and you should see an ad that your company produced, when gun deaths are now the leading cause of child deaths in the country, and a teenager used one of your weapons to kill 19 children just a month ago?
Ma'am, you've said a lot. What was the question there?
Do you believe it is appropriate to market guns in such a manner, as your advertising has done, when gun deaths are now the leading cause of child deaths in the country, and a teenager used one of your weapons to kill 19 children just a month ago? It's a yes or no question.
This advertisement you're showing is a safety advertisement.
Is it appropriate? It's a yes or no question.
This is an appropriate ad for safety, teaching
to advertise. It's a yes or no. Is that a yes?
This advertisement
reclaiming
is about
my
safety.
time. Mr. Bousse, you're familiar with the marketing practices of gun manufacturers. Can you speak to why this kind of advertising is dangerous and which groups this advertising is often directed at?
I can testify to the fact that advertising practices in the firearms industry have changed radically in the last 10 or 15 years, and I am very concerned about the degree to which there is now irresponsible advertising encouraging or marketing to irresponsible activities.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I represent a community that is facing a gun violence epidemic. Just like during the opioid crisis, irresponsible companies are pumping vast amounts of dangerous product into our communities without a care for the lives that have been lost or the inherent lethality of their products. History is repeating itself, and gun manufacturers are playing fast and loose with their advertising. If they do not take responsibility for the weapons of war they are selling to the public, Congress will gladly step in and do so for them. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back the remainder of my time.